Alright, so it's currently a Thursday morning, so this is not. I want to be talking baseball right now. That's what I want to be talking about. But there is something that's so. This needs to be talked about. I'm annoyed that there are not that many people talking about it. Charlie's talking about it, thankfully. We need more people talking about this. We need to be hammering the UK, all of them, 24/7 on this crap. So I'm going to start with the Online Safety Act. That's what I want to talk about. So, in the UK, now there is this bill. There's this bill. It's been around for a bit, but only now is it starting to. The effects of it are starting to become noticeable. And that's a nice way of putting it. Oh boy, so in this act called the Online Safety Act, what you have essentially the law, and basically, oh, we're protecting the kids. Oh, we're gonna try and protect them from harm. We don't want them to. We don't want to ruin their minds. We don't want to get them on the whatever this stuff is, whatever their boogeyman is. I know pornography is their boogeyman. So yeah, and that's what they're using that. I get why you would want to there, but once you start going past, we're not gonna, because it's not just gonna be pornography anymore. That's what this was originally targeting. That's what this was originally targeting. Now there's some social media apps and like all those big social medias now in the UK. You need age verification for that. And where do you think that age verification is going? Going straight to the government, so they have all your ID and they can track what you're doing. How wonderful is that? How wonderful is that? That they can track, they can see, and oh, if we don't like it, we don't like what you're doing, we're just gonna take it down. We're just gonna take it down. That's what they're doing. They can see everything you're doing. And that is dystopian. That is scary. That is freaky. Horrifying. Scary. Dare I say fascist stuff. That is scary. That is scary to think they can see everything you're doing. And don't think for 1 second that it's just going to stop at the UK. Australia, they just had their bill. I think it's going into effect in December. Same law, maybe a slightly different name. Same thing. And this is going around. I'm going to go to the fact this is not about kids, not one bit. So what they do is they hide behind the child safety language. Oh, we just want to protect the kids. Yeah, we just want to protect the kids. Meanwhile, what you're actually doing is taking stuff down they might actually need to be seen, like mental health stuff, LGBTQ, if that's your thing. I know religious people exist. Not everybody agrees with that stuff, but mental health stuff that like teens groups they need these like ways to communicate. That's what a lot of social media is: communicating with others, seeing what others do, making sure that you don't feel alone. That's what that does. That's what the freedom of the internet does, and this law and this whole movement, because that's what restricts that stuff. And yeah, this is not about children. Not about children in the slightest. What it actually is, it's censorship. They want to take things down. They want to see everything you're doing. If they don't like you, they may or may not come after you, but at the very least, they're going to take your stuff down. That's what this is. I wouldn't be surprised in 2 weeks this video's taken down. I wouldn't be surprised. So this is not about kids. And yeah, I probably could have put it on the board, but it's not just the UK either. Australia, and now there's US, like state laws that are doing basically the same thing with, again, the pornography. They're like, oh, we need the age verification. So basically you have to give your ID to the government just so you can do all that stuff. That's what that does. I don't even have words, bro. So then we go to the COSA and Screen Acts. This is the U.S. laws. This is our version of it. They're basically the same thing, and they're basically a nice way of saying we want to censor things so you can't see them anymore. We want to censor stuff. We don't want you to see them because apparently we want to protect the kids. Like, are you listening to yourself? Do you hear yourself? You governments and stuff. Do you hear yourself? We just want to protect children. It's disgusting. No, you don't. Actually, this will harm kids, actually. This will harm kids. It's going to cut off your social safety. Not like the government, but your social group, your safety nets or your social groups. That's what it's going to cut. It's going to cut a lot of those off online. It's going to make it harder to communicate with others, because social media is being targeted in the UK heavily, like YouTube, Reddit, Twitter. I'm not calling it the X. All those, and what they're doing is they're requiring the age verification. Otherwise, you have the baby settings, the baby parent settings, or you can't access the thing at all. It's so nasty, and this is the reason I'm making this is the next point: YouTube and Spotify, and other social medias. So for YouTube, what they've just done is kind of they're jumping ahead of the game. What they have done is they're starting to roll out this new age verification thing for YouTube that uses AI and sees what you watch, and then they guess if you're over 18. There are so many problems with this, it's actually unbelievable. So first of all, with YouTube, what you have is essentially an AI system that will just go see what you're watching, and then it will ignore the actual date that your channel was created, or how old you say you are. For example here, you can, let me check how about like a little. How about like those anime groups that they're like, or as weird as it might be, the Little Pony group. That's another good example of this. They're obviously adults. They're adults, but the material that they cover is material that's meant for children. And if that's what they're watching and that's what they're making, this AI, they're going to see that and, oh, he must be under 18, when they're clearly not. So then they get banned, restricted, this, that, and the other. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. And then my concern is, will this come for me? That's my concern. Will I not be able to do my baseball crap anymore that I love doing? My National Baseball League. Will I not be able to do that anymore? Are you kidding? Unbelievable. Actually unbelievable. Go ahead. I don't want to give my ID to the government. That should be just a big no-no in society. And Spotify, they did it too. And because now in Spotify, if you aren't already in, you try to go in, they kick you out and say, you need to verify your age. Which means give your ID to the government. Just to listen to music. You're not on Pornhub. Alright? You're not on the Hub. You're not on the Black and Orange. Why? Who does this protect? Who does this protect? Actually, unbelievable. You cannot sit here with a straight face and tell me that this stuff is meant for kids. It's blatant censorship. Blatant censorship. I'm furious. Blatant censorship. What we can still do, since the U.S., we still have a lot of this stuff hasn't actually happened like legally yet. There's no laws, although social media is starting to cater to the U.K. and other governments that are trying to get ahead of the game. And here's some actual good news. Wikipedia and Apple are suing the U.K. government over this stuff. That is good. They're suing the Parliament. Fantastic. Thank you. When the big corporations siding with the people, I think something bad happened. And something bad really did happen here. And if you're living in the U.S. like me, go on to those, there's one called Stop COSA, the Kids Online Safety Act. Stop it. Go through at the very least, do an email. I already did that. And then you can also call one of your local, your politicians that are in power, your local politicians, and call them. Your people in the House of Representatives, because that's where COSA's stuck right now. And you can call them and say, no, just tell them, oppose this bill, oppose this bill, oppose this bill. We need to be, in this bill, we need to be going, talking about this stuff, screaming and yelling like I am right now, every single day, 24/7, as long as we still can. as long as we still can. Don't stop talking about it. We need more people talking. I want this stuff to be on ABC News, NBC News, Fox News, all the newses. And unbelievable. If we can do that, maybe we can bring a stop to this. Because if we just sit there, how far is this going to go? How far is this going to go? Actually, it's unbelievable. It's just straight up censorship. I don't really feel like having the government over my head. Yeah, trying to oh yes, you can do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. And unbelievable. Unbelievable. Actually unbelievable. And we need to put a stop to this. We need to put a stop to this. Alright. I'll go back to my baseball content, but if I feel like I need to make another video on this, I will. So, see ya. Goodbye.